Hey everybody, it's Gypsy, and today I want to talk about a problem I'm having. You see this tree here? Now we do have some trees that do start turning. They're very rare at this time of the year. What is today, August 26th, 2024? But maples don't turn yet. This is a maple. Now the disease it has right there, where it looks like it's turning to fall, that's called rust. And thankfully, rust really doesn't show up until the end of the growing season, which is a good thing. Don't know if you could see. The colors on this one have not, hasn't changed yet. I don't know if you could tell. Yeah, okay, right here. The leaves are starting to curl. And when the leaves turn, for fall, they don't curl. These are curling, and they're going to start looking like fall leaves, but they're really not. It has rust. Now, as you can see, I live in a very wooded area. And I had started to notice a little earlier, I should say, maybe, I don't know, a month ago, 3 weeks ago, that my blueberry plants, the leaves were turning and falling off. I'm going, well, that doesn't make sense. Well, there's my blueberry, all my blueberries and my raspberries are over there. That maple right there has rust. And as you can see, leaves have fallen all over the place. I first noticed the rust back by the cranberry trees. The cranberries have it. So from what I have read about rust, it's called cedar-apple rust because it starts with the cedars and the apple trees, which is why the crab apples have it. And it's on, fir trees get it and stuff. We are just surrounded. I'm in zone 6A, Northeast Ohio. So, what I did yesterday was I treated my berries with copper fungicide. And I have to do this once a week. Now, I mentioned, I think it was yesterday or the day before, that it had not spread into my outdoor garden. However, I'm working in here this morning, and I have been trimming off a lot of yellowing leaves, which is why I say thankfully, this does not seem to occur until the end of the growing season, which is like mid-August. Look at my poor tomatoes over here. I've been pulling infected leaves. I still have more to go. So, these have them. I have a lot of work to do. And unfortunately, this afternoon it's going into the 90s, which is unusual this year. Look at my poor cucumber plant. I have a lot of cucumbers on there. I don't know what's going to happen to them. Now these, not so bad. It's starting over here with my Mexican midgets, but it'll spread. Starting to notice it on the lima beans. So, what I am doing is I am obviously pulling all these leaves off. Any infected branches I'm taking off of all my plants. I'm also going to treat all these in here with copper fungicide. It may come down to I have to just pull these out. I did take off a mature cucumber that kind of had red at the top where the blossom was. Not the blossom, but where the stem is. And I should get that one. I'm not sure if that's it or not. So anyways, I am having issues with that rust. I'm just going to have to keep treating everything with copper fungicide. I'm assuming I'm going to have this problem every year. This is my first year planting a garden here because I'm surrounded by woods. These trees are infected all around, and there's just woods everywhere. So I'm going to always have this problem. I'm always going to have to keep the copper fungicide on. The good thing is next year, at least I'll know about it. And I'll have the copper fungicide on hand immediately. And start, look at that. You see it? And start treating. I think that's it. I'm not sure. That could be from an insect. And start treating my plants. Like, I don't know, starting in July, maybe before. I don't know. But those were beautiful plants just a week or two ago. Now, what I noticed was my plants looked good, except for my blueberries. And I wasn't quite sure what was wrong with the blueberries yet. Everything was great. But then we had those tornadoes come through. We had a bunch of tornadoes come through here. And a lot of rain. Well, from what I have learned in my research, wind and rain, water, spread this disease. So that is why after those tornadoes, I started having all these problems. You know, I was like, oh, I'm so blessed because I came out in the yard, I had very little damage. Where, you know, people like close by, a street or two over, had a lot of damage. We didn't really. Just had a few things I had to repair in the garden, that's all. Well, I'm finding out, well, I got, look at my blueberry. Isn't this sad? I got the rust. So I think what I'm going to do next year is just start spraying on copper fungicide early, before it gets to this time of the year. I do not know why. And this one looks a little bit better. I don't know why it's at the end of the season. I have no idea. Now, the raspberries, they're fine. Strawberries are fine. It could be because I have those covered. I don't know. It's to keep the birds out. But anyways, I'm like really depressed. It's like I came out here this morning. In my gourds and my pumpkins, the leaves are yellow at the bottom too. You know, and I know at the end of the season, it's normal here, because if we have a short growing season, you know, the fruit, you know, you're starting harvesting down here and you work your way up. And it does start like dying off a little bit, but this is just too much. So I had to do some research. Anyways, I'm like really down about this, but I'm going to treat. I'm going to get out my bottle, copper fungicide in here, and start spraying everything. I'm going to finish trimming off the leaves, and I'm going to clean them up, and they definitely are not going in the compost. Not that I'm really going to be able to help the spread, because, I mean, these woods are thick and deep. They go way back, and it's coming from, like, all over. I could see a tree back there. I think that's a crab apple. If you could see it way, way back there. It's awfully yellow. You know, starting to turn a little bit. Like my parents, the last house they had, in the front yard. Can't remember what kind of tree it was, but by this time it was turning, but it wasn't yellow. It would start turning red, and it would look beautiful. At this time of year, it was very slight. That was not an illness, the disease. This is a disease. So I have to just work on my own plants. I can't do anything about the trees I'm surrounded with. I'm sorry, I'm just like so down about this. Anyways, thankfully it's the end of the season. But I do have my fall crops growing, so I don't know what's going to happen with them. Yeah, that tree is the worst. It's the one that caused problems with my berries. So I'm going to leave you with that. Blessed be, and make it a joyful one.